Damn. I can't wait. Oh my god, I can't wait. I don't know how I'm gonna sleep tonight. Whew, this is gonna be one hell of a weekend. Let's start the podcast. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 3 of the DC Enthusiast podcast. My name is Gio, and we are less than 24 hours from DC Fandom, the most highly anticipated weekend in a long time. Definitely in 2020 for sure. But we already have some big news from the DC world, the DCEU, and let's get into it. The biggest news of the week maybe gives the Snyder Cut a run for its money as far as biggest news of the year. Ben Affleck returns as Batman. Yes, Batfleck will be back for the Flash solo movie. This was confirmed yesterday by Vanity Fair, I believe. And it appears Affleck has been uh, open to coming back for actually the past couple of months. Some are saying he's in a better place in his life, which if you see the TMZ photos of him and Anya de Armas, I mean, yeah, he looks like he's in a very good place right now. He's in a very good shape, and he's happy, which is more important, honestly, than anything that Hollywood can offer. But Affleck will return at least one more time for the Flash solo movie. According to the director, Andy Muschietti, who did the It Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 movies, he'll be the director for The Flash. He says that Ben Affleck will be a substantial part to the emotion of the story. Whether that means he'll be on screen for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, remains to be seen. Now, there's some people out there speculating that this could be Affleck coming back and giving his Batman character a proper send off, and I don't know if I believe that. Um, that could very well be the case. It could be me just hoping that that's not the case, because I want to see more Affleck. I want to see more of Ben Affleck in the role of Batman. So we'll have to wait until tomorrow at DC Fandom to learn more about that. But the fact that Ben Affleck is coming back is yet another sign of Warner Brothers righting their wrongs and not allowing a great casting in Ben Affleck as Batman go to waste. It's been well documented that Ben Affleck loves the role of Batman. He loves Zack Snyder. I'm pretty sure Snyder coming back and getting able to finish his cut of Justice League played a huge part in him considering a return to the character. If you guys remember, there was a Twitter campaign about 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, where the hashtag Thanks Batfleck, where fans showed their appreciation for his portrayal of the character. I bet that played a role. I put out on Twitter yesterday, I want everyone who participated in that campaign to pat themselves on the back, because I think they played a big role as well in Affleck returning to the Batman character. But look, the bottom line is Affleck is back, and I am so happy about that. I'm pretty sure you're happy about that. Nobody thought this could actually happen, but we're in a very weird year now where anything can happen. And I've said this before, the Snyder Cut releasing, all of a sudden makes everything possible. Affleck returns. Henry Cavill in negotiations for a larger role in the DCEU. David Ayer potentially getting his Suicide Squad cut. Like there are so many possibilities now, possibilities that didn't exist a year or two ago. And so I'm very happy that he's back, and I'm very happy that myself and others who held out hope of his return got a pretty good return in that emotional investment. So that's just incredible. I'm gonna talk more about it as we get closer to DC Fandom on my other podcasts. But this is great news. And the other news that dropped this week was DC Fandom splitting into two parts. So part one is the Hall of Heroes releasing happening this Saturday, and that's mainly going to be the movie announcements, a couple TV panels, the Flash panel and Titans TV panel, and some other cool stuff from behind the scenes. The creators, Jim Lee, who created the whole layout of DC Fandom. So that'll still be there on August 22nd. However, everything else moved to September 12th, and that's DC Fandom Part 2. I believe it's called Enter the Multiverse, but all the Kidsverse stuff, the Insiderverse, and the Watchverse, the TV, a lot of that stuff will be happening on that date, a future date, not this Saturday. And that kind of makes sense, honestly. I think the movies are the big draw. The DCEU movies, certainly for me, the DC enthusiast, the movies are definitely the big draw. So they can kind of hold their own for 24 hours and be the talk of the town. And it makes sense that if you're going to hold a second event for the TV panels, again, a very, very passionate fandom, but I don't think it's as big as a movies verse. You're going to have to offer a little bit more to still draw people there. And whether that's the Uverse, where fans can show off their cosplay and fan art, or it's the Kidsverse, where you could take your kids to go play games and fun activities and stuff like that. And then of course, the TV Watchverse. I think that makes more sense as far as taking a lot of that stuff and putting it with the TV to still have just as exciting event come September 12th for the part 2. So even though it makes sense, I'm still a little bit bummed because my whole sell to average moviegoers or people who don't really follow this kind of stuff is that this is a unique global experience, and the fact that you're going to get so much in 24 hours, not just movie stuff, but you're going to be able to do things with your kids. You're going to be able to check out fan art and see exactly why this fan base is so revered by filmmakers and so passionate. Things like that. I still think DC Fandom will be a unique global event. I think it still will be a success. But it does take away a little bit from that overall experience, which we've seen that in Hollywood movies where the last movie is split into two parts. It's like, yeah, I'm still excited about it, but now I gotta wait a certain amount of time before the next one, and that may build up anticipation and work in their favor, but it still takes away from the overall experience if you get what I mean. So, yeah, August 22nd, tomorrow, less than 24 hours, DC Fandom. It's going to be insane. It's going to be everything that us DC fans, comic book movie fans want and more. And so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Last part of this podcast, I want to quickly go through my predictions one more time, which I've talked about earlier. in the second episode when I completely went through the DC Fandom Hall of Heroes schedule. Before I go through the predictions real quick, I want to quickly mention that WB did remove a mystery film panel from that slate, the Hall of Heroes slate, which is unfortunate, but also kind of makes sense if you predict that they could push that to September 12th to again make that part two um, more exciting and draw more people. So they could be taking this time to make sure that whatever movie they want to announce is in fact the right movie to do. But again, still unfortunate because I want the movie news. Okay, I want it now. So yeah, I just want to quickly mention that. So my predictions for DC Fandom. I got 5 of them. So I'll go through them one by one. The first prediction is the Snyder Cut cast reunites. Now this is before Ben Affleck was confirmed to be returning to the role in the Flash movie. I predicted that the Snyder Cut cast would reunite and show their support for Zack Snyder and this cut of the movie. But now that Ben Affleck is confirmed to return, and Gal Gadot already being in attendance for Wonder Woman 84, Jason Momoa for Aquaman, Ezra Miller for The Flash, and I can guarantee you Cyborg, Ray Fisher will show up if he got the call. I think this is a lock that the Snyder Cut cast will reunite to present the first teaser trailer for the Snyder Cut. So that was the first one. First prediction. Number 2, Henry Cavill confirmed for Black Adam, announces Man of Steel 2. Now, announcing Man of Steel 2 was one of the predictions for the mystery film panel. However, that was taken away, so I don't think we'll get that announcement. But Henry Cavill appearing in Black Adam seems very likely when you consider just how much Dwayne Johnson wants to fight. Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam character wants to fight Superman, how much Henry Cavill loves the role of Superman, and his recent negotiations, according to major trades, to come back and portray Superman. I think that's a definite possibility. So that's my number 2. Number 3, Ben Affleck announces an HBO Max deal. Now, that surprise DC Comics panel is still slated for the Hall of Heroes DC Fandom tomorrow, part 1. So I think this is a lot more likely. I'll tell you why. Ben Affleck coming back to the Flash role was a major step, or coming back to the Flash movie was a major step. Okay, he's back in the DCEU. There's no question about it. He is back in the DCEU. For how long is more of a question. Now, Matt Reeves, his Batman movie is hitting the big screens. I don't think Warner Brothers wants to have multiple Batman movies on the big screen, kind of maybe taken away from each other and possibly oversaturating that character's presence on the big screen. Again, I would love to see that, but I think given how other franchises do movie after movie after movie with no 2-year break, we've seen that not work in their favor, most notably the Fast and Furious franchise, which I love, and also the Star Wars franchise, a franchise I'm also very passionate about. So I don't think having Ben Affleck do a Batman movie is likely. I think what's more likely is HBO Max having him do his limited series based off of his script. We're talking maybe 6 to 8 episodes, 6 to 8 hours of a Batman story revolved around his script. So I think that's very much a possibility. And there are also rumors that Ben Affleck is highly wanted by the people at HBO Max. They really want his character. I mean, talk about talk about a big draw for a streaming service. I mean, if the Snyder Cut is as much of a success as I think it'll be, they want more of that. And I think Ben Affleck doing an HBO Max limited series makes more sense than doing a big screen movie, given Matt Reeves' franchise is just starting to kick off. So I think that's very likely that Ben Affleck announces an HBO Max deal. Number 4, David Ayer gets his Suicide Squad Ayer cut, including a crap ton of unused Jared Leto footage. Look, like I said, all bets are off with the Snyder Cut happening. Okay, everything is on the table, and I think the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad is much easier to produce than the Snyder Cut because the footage is already shot. It's just a matter of changing the tone back to what Ayer originally wanted, what's more in line with his movies, David Ayer, and bringing to life the real version of Jared Leto's Joker. It's been well documented that Jared Leto's Joker got the short end of the stick, the very short end, with a lot of his footage being cut. It's still on the floor. The footage still exists. It just has to be re-edited back into the movie. And I think that costs a lot less than additional photography, like the Justice League Snyder Cut is doing. So I think the David Ayer cut is very much a possibility. Although, if that DC Comics surprise panel can only have one, I'd rather have the Ben Affleck HBO Max limited series. And I think that mystery film panel, which could happen in part 2 of the DC Fandom on September 12th, that could be the announcement of the Ayer cut. Or they might wait until the Snyder Cut's released and see how that does, because Suicide Squad is coming next year. And like I said, doing 2 films in 1 year could not work against them. So I think I kind of just talked myself out of that damn prediction. Damn it. All right, number 5. Now, this was just for fun. We know that a Batman game is coming, but I predicted that a Superman game would be announced. Initially, I said Superman hasn't had a game since the N64 days, but I was wrong. Superman had a game in the mid-2000s. He had 2 games in the mid-2000s, one with the Superman Returns, and then there was another one on Xbox and one on PlayStation 2. But that being said, we are long overdue for a Superman game. And I think with the next generation consoles, that could very well be a possibility that a Superman game comes sooner rather than later. So that's it. Those are my predictions for DC Fandom. We will know in less than 24 hours exactly which of those predictions are true and which ones are not. I'm so excited for DC Fandom. I cannot say that enough. I think a lot of you are excited as well. I think Warner Bros. Has done a fantastic job convincing all of you that this is an event worth checking out. And I will probably be up for the full 24 hours. Really, I got my Starbucks gift card, and I plan on using the whole thing tomorrow. So I want to thank you guys for checking out episode 3 of the DC Enthusiast podcast. My name is Gio. You can follow me at DC_enthusiast on Twitter. And if you guys enjoy content and enjoy the conversation of DC movies, DCEU, please subscribe to my channel and leave a comment on your opinions. I really do appreciate it. I enjoy the conversation. Like I said, I'm not a DC expert by any means. I just enjoy these movies and follow the development of these movies. So I enjoy being informed by your guys' opinions and what you think and what storylines should be adapted and which versions of the character and so on and so forth. So thank you so much for joining me on the DC Enthusiast podcast, and stay tuned. More big things are coming in the DCEU. I'll see you guys next time.